When you've got Rich Froning and Scott Panchik battling it out for the top spot of a leaderboard, and that's not what people are talking about, well then you know there's a problem. Yes, the age group competition is in full swing. Masters athletes are being given their time to shine, to demonstrate just how fit they still are. And instead of talking about that, well, focus has been squarely on CrossFit HQ and the mistakes being made there. If you've been paying attention, you will know that the leaderboard is incorrect. Yes, the online leaderboard of an online competition. So of all the things that could go wrong, this has got to be up there with one of the worst. Now, of course, CrossFit is aware of this problem. How could they not be? And they have sent an email out to the athletes identifying what's gone wrong, or at least part of what's gone wrong, and assuring them to just go ahead as normal and it will all be sorted out down the line. Although it looks like it probably won't be sorted out before the end of the competition itself. So does that mean we have no way of knowing exactly where people are in reality on the leaderboard unless we sit down with pen and paper and do all the calculations ourselves? Well, no, Mike Halpin has kindly put together a Google Doc that has a corrected leaderboard. So Mike has done some great work here, and we appreciate that he is giving us an accurate leaderboard. But this in itself is a problem. Why are we talking about Mike Halpin? No offense, Mike, you're a nice guy. But looking at his kindly accurate leaderboard, look at some of the names competing. We've got Scott Panchik and Rich Froning and Sam Dancer, China Cho and Stacey Tovar, Sam Briggs, Jason Grubb, Kelly Friel. So despite the fact that this competition is full of names that we recognize for a number of different reasons, if you're just casually scrolling through Instagram, it seems that all anyone is talking about is the leaderboard being incorrect and Mike Halpin coming in to save the day. So as if it's not bad enough that when the Masters athletes actually get to throw down in person at the CrossFit Games, generally that is overshadowed by other parts of the CrossFit Games. Although that being said, if Rich Froning does go and compete as a master this year, maybe they'll get a little bit more traction than in previous years. But now that we actually have a portion of the competition where we focus solely on them, well, once again, attention is being drawn away to look at mistakes that CrossFit is making. And it's a real shame because if we actually sit down and think about it, we can understand that this is probably a pretty tiny mistake. This is an automated system. No one is sitting down and manually inputting the scores of the different athletes. So we can understand that somewhere down the line when setting up this automated system, someone has made a mistake. But this small mistake is then expressed in a very big way because it's messed up the entire leaderboard. And timing being everything, this would happen just after CrossFit lets go of 20% of their workforce. Probably these are completely unrelated and this was all set in motion way before that happened, but it does allow people to start speculating. Well, can CrossFit succeed now that they've reduced their numbers? Look at the mistakes they're making. Or maybe it's a justification. Well, these were the kind of people that had to be let go, the people that were working on this. Or my personal favourite is maybe the conspiracy theorists in us that think perhaps this is just the revenge of somebody that was not too happy about losing their job. Of course, this could all have just been outsourced and somebody who doesn't even know anything about CrossFit but just works on the computers made a mistake. But the problem is that at this point, CrossFit cannot afford to make any mistakes. This is a Brooke Wells stepping on the tape line during the sprint in 2019. It's a little error, but it has a huge impact. Because as we've seen, eyes are on CrossFit. People are there watching, waiting, looking for them to make any tiny mistakes. At this point, CrossFit cannot afford that. They need to be crossing their T's and dotting their lowercase j's. And another thing to think about is something that I pointed out when we saw mistakes being made during the live announcements, that we are in a year that CrossFit has decided to take on the responsibility of running some of the in-person semi-finals. Not only that, they've made them bigger semi-finals than previous years. So when we see these kind of mistakes being made already leading up to those competitions, it doesn't fill us with confidence. And maybe one of the biggest issues is this is how I feel or how I'm viewing things as someone who is desperately looking to be positive about CrossFit. So what kind of ammunition are they giving to people that want to be negative?